But for Aaron Judge, the captain, to admit it, this tells you that Aaron Judge is quite honestly frustrated and fed up. What is up, guys? This is David from Bronx Banter with another episode. And the Yankees are officially eliminated from any kind of postseason or playoff contention. There are plenty of people that aren't shy of discussing what happened with the Yankees. What went wrong this year? What went wrong the last few years? And one of those people that actually spoke up and finally, well, I wouldn't say finally, but spoke out was the captain, Aaron Judge. He spoke out after the post game of us officially getting eliminated from playoff contention. And here's what he had to say.
How would you describe what went wrong this year?
Oh, there's a lot that went wrong. It's we get hit it from a lot of different aspects, but what it comes down to, we just didn't come out here and do our job. With the type of lineup we have, the pitching rotation, we just got to show up collectively. I know guys miss time. That always hurts, from the rotation, from even my standpoint, missing, all the games I did, it doesn't help. When you're supposed to be a guy in the middle of the lineup that, helps produce every single night. So, it's tough. Every year I've been in New York, we're in the postseason, so it's going to be a little different this off season, but it's just going to give us more time to work and get ready for the next one.
So Aaron Judge here equates a lot of the injuries, and I'm just being honest, I'm going to be a little bit of a translator this episode. A lot of the injuries here to the Yankees' failures this year, and rightfully so. He even admitted that he missed a large part of the season, to which he was obviously a main bat in the lineup, the bat in the lineup. And obviously, once you take that out of the lineup, what do we really have in this Yankees lineup? So he takes ownership on missing his part of the bargain, his part of the season where he's fallen short. But he also made sure to recognize a lot of the other part of the roster has also been injured. And obviously, we know as Yankee fans, injuries have been attacking us left and right for 4 years. And I did a little bit of research and math, and we had a total of 19 guys out on the injured list as of this year. Now, 17 of those guys are on the injured list currently. And two of those 19, are Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, and they're back. Judge is doing his thing. And Stanton, quite honestly, if you haven't seen this episode, I spoke plenty about him. He's doing everything to hurt the team. He's doing everything to hurt the team, essentially, with his production or lack thereof. So you have guys from, and I'm really just going to mention the most notable: Nestor Cortez, Anthony Rizzo, Trevino, Lou Trevino, Frankie Montas, Efros. I mean, honestly, Jason Dominguez. A lot of these guys are honestly very valuable to us. Luis Severino. So, and then even when some of these guys were on the field, they weren't even performing as well. So I don't want to overanalyze, but he even mentions the type of lineup we have. Now, in the same breath, he was talking about injuries, but what does the type of lineup we have to do with injuries? Now, obviously, we got notable bats that were injured, from himself to Stanton to Rizzo. I guess Jason Dominguez, but then again, he wasn't supposed to be a part of the picture this year, really. But it was so interesting that he mentioned the type of lineup we have. I think we all can admit this year we maybe only had about 2 games where we had a lineup that we were comfortable with. From having guys flopping in and out between Aaron Hicks, Willie Calhoun, no offense to Jake Bauers, he had his little run, but Jake Bauers, I'm missing some other guys, having Anthony Volpe hit leadoff. So it's not only just the injuries, but it's the type of lineup we have. And then he even continues to go as far as saying, every year I've been in New York, we've been in the postseason, so it's going to feel a little different this offseason. Now, Again, not to overanalyze, but it could mean that there could be changes that he is expecting this offseason. And honestly, quite like this is nothing that's too surprising. If even as Yankee fans, when we have a losing season, or not a losing season, but missing out on the postseason and World Series are bust. So obviously this year's a failure because we didn't make it or win the World Series. We would expect some changes. And honestly, Aaron Judge is admitting that he's expecting some changes as well. So clearly it starts from injuries to even beyond the injuries, talking about the type of lineup we have, which was really shocking to me. Because not shocking, we all know that the type of lineup we have is not good. But for Aaron Judge, the captain, to admit it and not just bring in and this tells you that Aaron Judge is quite honestly frustrated and fed up because he could have played the political game that a lot of Yankee players and members of the organization, they would most likely answer this question by saying something along the lines of, we believe in the guys we had, it just didn't work out from injuries, so on and so forth. But he's admitting it's not only the injuries, but also admitting that it's the type of guys we had. So even if we weren't injured, the type of guys we had in our lineup was not good. And also it goes hand in hand that because of the injuries, it led to certain guys being in the lineup that shouldn't have been in the lineup in the first place. But clearly the lineup construction, and obviously the roster construction in general, but the lineup construction is something that even Aaron Judge himself is admitting is a huge flaw in this season. And quite honestly, even last season, why didn't we feel like we were that competitive in the ALCS? Because our bats disappeared other than Bader and Stanton. It's refreshing to see not just anyone, but the captain to mention everything that we've been recognizing for the past year or 2 years or couple of years. Here's what else Judge had to say.
As you approach the offseason, do you feel that this team is close to getting back to where it needs to be?
Yeah, definitely. Seeing a lot of the bright spots we've seen from the young guys coming up. Some of the changes I've seen, this year, it's not going to happen overnight, so we got to hit the ground running, especially when this season ends. We got a lot to work on, a lot of things to change, and a lot of stuff going on around here that needs to be fixed.
Wow. I hope you guys are paying attention this episode, because so he was asked, does he feel like this team is close to being back to where they want to be? And he then says yes, but then his follow-up response to that seems contrary. What I understood is that we are headed in the right direction because he mentioned that he liked how we called up the kids. There was bright spots with calling them up and seeing the fruit and the benefit of that. But then he also mentions that there's a lot that needs to change, And he really co-signs not only just the young kids, but the changes that have been happening recently. So this could go from, making Michael King a starting pitcher. This can go from letting the kids play in general, from bringing up Esteban Florial and really getting younger with the team. He clearly seems to be co-signing that. But even beyond this, he also admits that there's a lot that still needs to change, despite the changes that have already happened. And he says a lot needs to change, and there's a lot going on around here that needs to be fixed. Really listen to that. So are there organizational dysfunctions happening? And in some of my older videos, I mentioned that. I believe there are organizational dysfunctions. It's not a coincidence that Aaron Hicks leaves and finds himself hitting almost 300 with the Orioles. It's not a coincidence that Gary Sanchez leaves. Now, obviously he bounced from team to team, but he makes it to the Padres, not far off from leaving the Yankees, and he found a new role. He's catching Blake Snell amazingly. Blake Snell loves him as a catcher, and he's also hitting way better than he was with the Yankees towards the later seasons with the Yankees. So clearly there's something going on. And then all these injuries, again, all of this is not a coincidence. And Judge is alluding to this, that there's things going on around here, and I like to say the organization, the clubhouse, whatever, that is not meeting a World Series caliber standard organization or team. Now, I don't know if this is if what's going on around here and the things that need to change around here is referring to the day-to-day in between games in the clubhouse, or that's more of the upper management organization, or that's even referring down to the minor leagues. But whatever it is, it's much more than just a player performance. And that's something that we've all been hearing. The guys are injured. They haven't performed to their expectations. And it's never been an inward reflection from Cashman or Hal maybe up until later on now. Now we're going to start seeing some audits, analytical audits happening of the organization. But the captain is recognizing flaws, not just in the roster construction, not just in the lineup that comes out every day, but in just the things that happen day to day. This is a lot. This is a lot. And it says it himself. There's a lot that needs to change. A lot that needs to change. This isn't just some 1, 2, 3 patty cake, sign a few guys and we're good. That shouldn't stop us from signing big names this offseason. There's something deeper that has to happen. Now, could this be a large part of the analytical team? Could this be, I don't know what this could be. So I find that very, very interesting. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, what you think Aaron Judge means by that. I don't think I'm reaching too hard. That's a huge takeaway. It's it's recognizable that it's much more than just the player performance or just sitting on the field. It's the way the organization is being ran. There's something that needs to be fixed.
What needs to be fixed? What needs to change?
We'll keep that in-house. We got a lot of work on it. I don't need to tell you guys.
You mentioned keeping the issues in-house and internal talks. Do you plan on being part of those talks when it comes to what to do this offseason?
Oh, yeah, I got some ideas. But it's going to take all of us. It's going to be talking with everybody in the organization, all the way down through the minor league stuff, all the way up to the top. There's a lot of stuff we got to work on and improve. But like I said, there's a lot of bright spots, that we've seen with these young guys coming up. And, this is the time to build on that and, start building that next foundation.
This was the nail in the coffin in the of what you may think are Aaron Judge's takes, ideas, and thoughts on not just this season, but this organization and where we're headed and what he wants as a captain. He wants the young guys to play, just as we've been yelling at the Yankee organization to be doing for years. He wants the young guys to play. I want the young guys to play. You want the young guys to play. We're seeing what they're doing. Estevan Florial with consistent at-bats is showing up. Oswald Peraza is finding himself. Cabrera is figuring it out. Jason Dominguez is just ridiculous. Superstar, phenom, whatever you want to call him. He's going to be fine when he comes back. Austin Wells is figuring himself out. He's been getting home runs left and right. So letting the young guys play is something that we need, something that we see is working. And Aaron Judge, again, is co-signing, along with talking about having some ideas of what the talks are going to look like. He says it requires talks from the bottom all the way up through the top, alluding that he's pointing at the organization. I truly think, and obviously there's some pieces that we need to sign and figure out. And obviously the roster construction is not good at all. But I feel like Aaron Judge is also alluding more of a dysfunction in the way that the organization is being operated rather than the players themselves. He sees a bright future and he says we should capitalize on that. And I 100% agree. And again, his favorite line in this whole entire interview, this whole entire post-game conference, we have a lot to work on. When they asked him, what are some of your ideas? He goes, I'm going to keep that in-house. All I know is you have a lot to work on. This is a guy that knows what's wrong and the guy that's frustrated with the way that where things are headed. We're not winning. And he said, that's the reason why I'm back, because I want to win and I want to win with the Yankees and we're not winning. So this is a guy that's upset, unsatisfied, hungry. He says a lot has to change. So this offseason, I hope a lot changes. I want to know what you guys think are some great ideas that you have for what are some changes we need to see. Again, young guys need to play more. A lot of people believe Cashman should be gone. I agree. And until we figure something out and until, like Aaron just says, a lot of things change, we're not going to sniff a postseason or sniff a World Series. Now, I want Cashman gone. I don't know if he will be gone, but all I will say is, just as Aaron Judge says, a lot has to change. Along with Judge having some ideas, I also have some ideas. I'm going to let you guys know who I think we should trade for, who I think we shouldn't trade for, who I think we should sign, who I think we shouldn't sign. You're going to be quite interested and shocked at some of the takes I have. Hey, what is up, guys? If you liked this episode, please make sure to like it, comment down below, and subscribe. And watch what YouTube suggests would be a great video for you. You're not going to want to miss all the latest Yankees news and topics going on. Listen, Judge wants you to subscribe. The Martian wants you to subscribe, so make sure you do. And until next time, peace and be blessed.